How's it going, guys? I'm Tame Gaming here. Welcome back to the video. I know it's been a while since I've been on the mic, but today's a special video. I have a special guest with me tonight. She is the lovely, luscious Lulu.
Weird. Okay.
Yes.
But hi.
She's the only girl who doesn't like to have the gushy nicknames being thrown at her way. And anywho,
Pet names are for pets.
moving on. So yeah, as I said, today's video is gonna be pretty special. We're greeted with long-awaited from myself and for another anonymous person out there who is pressuring us to get together on a video.
Hey, Drew.
Shout out to Drew, everybody. And now he's just probably like, got all the butterflies in his stomach now, and it's like, oh, they finally did it. They did the thing. So yeah, Lulu is my lovely fiance, and we've been together for coming up to be 3 years.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah.
Well, August, middle of August 25th will be our 3-year anniversary. And
Where's the time gone?
Time tends to go by really fast when you're having fun, so.
Then it must be going really fast for you, because I'm here.
Well, so yeah, we together for a while, and I think it's only been, I mean, you've known I've done these YouTube videos for a little bit, but you just haven't really gotten the time to bring you on. I've wanted to bring you on here for a while, but it's just
To be fair, you only recently got back into it.
I know, because I was encouraged by you to get back into it.
It's because I've asked if you wanted to do that still.
But yeah, well, I guess with a couple of, personal financial issues that took place that kind of prevented me from doing so and kind of took the fun out of it, but I guess you encouraged me to go back and do it. It was a little bit more of a nice little ignition to start back up on doing this again. So, but today's video is talking about some of the funny and a little bit random, I guess, too, things that we have experienced in our almost 3 years of being together. And
specifically things that have happened while out and about.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of funny when, I guess it depends on where you're living. When you tend to go out, you always seem like nothing's gonna happen until something eventually happens. Like, for instance, Halloween.
Well, that was just an eventful night regardless. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't exactly, scantily dressed, but, it was kind of cold. It was 30s.
I think we were in Fargo, North Dakota, for crying out loud.
Yeah. But, I was really proud of my costume, and I went as Artemis, by the way, Greek goddess of the moon. And, there was no room for a winter jacket in it. I had a nice cloak, though.
Yeah, a nice cloak, and that was, not even, a 1/4 inch thick. And you had, did you have any pants on, leggings, or? I don't remember.
I don't remember. It was a calf-length skirt.
At least you had something on, I guess, but it was mostly exposed.
It was also sandals, so
And I went as Fat Thor from the Avengers,
or Jesus, as some people seem to think.
Well, it was actually funny because it's who has watched the films, who are fans of Marvel, and people who are just religious people thinking that.
I don't know that they're religious if they're thinking you're Jesus. Let's just be clear here. I don't know that you have to be religious to think someone's dressing as Jesus.
I have to admit, the facial hair on the costume wasn't rugged enough to be Fat Thor. It was too groomed because, I mean, Jesus never really had a nice groomed facial hair either, but...
How would you know? Did you know him in person? Meet him? But you also were wearing a robe, to be fair. I mean, I realized...
I was wearing PJs in a blue sweatshirt and a red cloak.
Yeah, exactly. It was a bathrobe, but, like, I guess if you're not paying attention, then it's a Jesus robe. Anyways.
Well, moving on to the point. So we were with a group of friends of ours, and we started out... Where did we start off? Like, did we start at OB and then eventually got to other places?
That was, like, the last place we got to.
Well,
we started off, like, somewhere down the street, and... Because it was a Halloween bar crawl, so there were, like, different bars along the route, basically, and you could get, like, punches to get, like, a finisher's medal thing at the end. They were out of medals when we finished, so, you know, we didn't get one, but not that I'm bitter, it's fine.
Now that I remember, we went to one of the bars, and we sat in the booth just as, like, a rendezvous point with the rest of our group. And once we got into the rendezvous, we then moved to, I don't remember what the bar was when you had your first little encounter with
I don't remember
another lady
where
folk.
it was. Yeah, you know, I've been hit on before, but I'll admit, this is my first time being hit on by a woman. Let's just be clear. First, I thought she was just complimenting me or my costume because I worked really hard on that costume. She said, "Oh my gosh, you just look radiant." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks. I worked really hard." And she's like, "I don't just mean your costume. Like you're just beautiful." And I'm like, "Oh, well, thanks. Let's just, thought maybe just girls complimenting girls, but no, it was definitely hitting on me. Let's just be clear."
Well, I mean, I know there can be either a fine line or a blurred line when it comes down to hitting on you because your outfit looks great, or you put yourself up with your makeup and whatever really well, and then someone's giving you points on that, or somebody's really telling you you're pretty just to give you the rosy cheeks.
I'm gonna go with the fact that it may have been a combination thing there, but yeah.
I mean, me being a guy, it's like I rarely get complimented on my, physical appearance whatsoever. I mean,
you certainly don't get complimented on your makeup very often.
Well, yeah, because I don't wear it.
Exactly.
I mean, I can I mostly get complimented on what I wear, because I remember back Easter when I bought this nice cardigan, and we were going to meet my parents for an Easter dinner, and then one guy comes out and he's like, "Oh, I love that cardigan, it looks sweet." And I was like, "Oh my god, thank you."
He's gushed about this ever since.
I know. So there's a thing out there when it says, when a guy gets a compliment, he's going to remember that forever, but when a girl gets a compliment, they're going to forget about it in the next 5 minutes.
I definitely remember
because of how common you guys get complimented.
I definitely remember getting hit on by a woman.
Well, I guess that was, that was a random moment. That was like, oh,
that was
shocker.
A first. That was a first. And so far a last.
I kind of just wonder, what gave her the appearance that, oh, maybe you do swing on that side of the fence.
I really don't know. But I ended up having to go back to the bar after we had left because I left something there. And I came back in. Mind you, I stayed a little bit to warm up a tiny bit before making the trek back where we had just been. And in that time, she came up to me and started talking to me again. And I'm like, I think this is when it really hit me that this wasn't just compliments. This was more. This was something more. But
yeah, we stayed there because I know we stayed there to eat and drink some stuff. And
well, then we got back to the next bar when I realized I left it. So then I had to go back all the way in the cold.
Yeah, this was the cold. It was like, you said it was 30 degrees. I would say it was a little bit colder because...
I don't know. I don't remember.
It was below freezing, broadly.
Cold. It was cold.
And that wasn't the only experience that we had that night. You see, Fargo at dark, it can just be random. You can get girls hitting up on you.
And then when we got to our final stop, as soon as I walked in, a girl who dressed as some dominatrix or something, definitely, she said, "Hey, turn around." Me, being the innocent person I am, thinking I have something in my back that she's gonna get off. No, she hits me with her little, gently of course, with her little whip thing. Wasn't prepared for that. Yeah, wasn't, yeah. Clearly, I wasn't expecting that, so I was like,
you're too innocent.
Okay.
You're too innocent. You know, that's what pays for being too innocent, is that, you know, you could be easily tricked into a little thing like that.
I mean, I guess there are worse things.
Well, yeah.
But then at that same place, we found a booth. Which is a big deal because it was really busy at that point.
We were a couple of drinks in. I mean, we sat down at a couple of tables. Like, as we sat down at one table, went and danced a little bit. Then we went to go find out the booth and get a couple other drinks because a couple of members of our group were getting a little tired, either from dancing or what have you, and just wanted to sit down and try to recoup. And before we knew it, we had an argument break out at the bar that we were at.
Oh, no, it wasn't at the bar. No, it was right next to our table. It was literally right there. Of all the tables they could choose from, it had to be ours.
Well, you know, I mean, you know, thank goodness that you were kind of like in the inside part of the booth. I was in the outside. I was playing Guardian and trying to prevent any fists from flying at your face. But we got a wig at our table and a shoe underneath our table, and
oh yeah, it was full on. Like, when you imagine like a cartoon fight with things flying everywhere, this is what it was. Someone's shoe ended up beneath our table. Someone's wig ended up on top of it. If you ever imagine a cartoon fight, this is what this was.
Oh yeah, it was like just stuff flying everywhere, and it was insane. Like, I was out here, like, picture me, I was like outside the booth, like out of part where I can get out or whatever, and I literally had my left hand out. I was trying to protect you and everybody else who was sitting at the same booth, and I was trying to, you know, play crossing guard or whatever. It's like, no, don't, no, and I'm like feeling like these little punches and shoves my way, and it's like, it was the girls of their group got into it first, and then the guys, they didn't really get too physical. They just had a shouting match, and, you know, a lot of colorful words were being thrown at one another. Then they were kicked out, and I think we still had the wig on our table when they left.
I think we kind of just like set it off to the side, not knowing what to do with it. I think we did return the shoe, right? I don't think anyone left without their shoe. I guess I don't remember.
I never knew the ending of the shoe story. So.
I don't know. It was just ridiculous. Crazy that all of this happened in one night.
Well, see, that's the, I guess, you know, that's the magic when it comes down to going out at night, is that, I mean, you're out there to, you know, one, enjoy your time with the people that you know and love or whatever, and, you know, just have a great time. But then eventually there's some people out there who go out and tend to throw a little bit of drama at you, try their luck.
But we've been out before, and I don't think we've ever had a night with as much, you know, stuff happening as this.
I gotta ask you, are those nights the more exciting ones than the ones that just, we just go out, we go have a couple of drinks, we go get something to eat, nothing much happens, we go home, it's like, oh yay, date done?
They're more memorable. I don't know if I can say that they're better. They're different. We'll just say they're different.
Well, I mean, I'm not one to say like, oh, you gotta have a little bit of drama when you go out and...
Hindsight, it's funny.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it was just kind of startling.
What other fun, exciting times have we experienced when we have gone out? Well, let's see. Let's go back to OB, why don't we?
Oh, you're going to go with this one. I was going to go somewhere else. Okay, proceed. Have your story. I know you love this story.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, nothing like, you know, showing your true man physique, or the kind of threat that you think you have but you don't have, but once people see you, you kind of be like, oh yeah, I have this much power. You know,
you literally did nothing.
That was great.
You just existed.
I felt like literally Darth Vader in a room full of rebels.
Okay, well, proceed to tell what actually happened, because right now everybody's confused.
Everybody is deeply confused, and so we go out again with a group of people, same crowd of people that we, you know, tend to go out with, and we went to Hobie, and this was like later in the day. I don't think this was the same incident where I was a little too...
No, that was definitely different. That was also a different bar.
No, we were just getting close to our half-year anniversary, I think. It was like a 6-month anniversary.
Well, yeah, because it was... one of our friends that pulled you to the side specifically to ask what your plans were for my birthday.
Exactly.
We didn't have plans, by the way. We planned on going to dinner. We both knew this, but for some reason our friend thought that there were some big elaborate plans.
No, we did the skiing at the state park. We had booked a little ski trip.
That was for our 6.
Yeah, this was our 6-month anniversary.
Oh, whatever. Yeah. Regardless.
Anywho, so we had gone there. We sat down with a group, and then we decided to go have some, have a nice, dance. Yeah, the dance floor. The music was playing. It was playing some really good music, and the night was going as normal. Just dancing, whatever. And then I get pulled aside from one of our friends, and she had, exactly what Lauren had said, is that, what do you have planned for you guys' half year anniversary? I was like, what we had planned was going to this, to go to the state park because there was like a little event hosted there right onto the ski trail there.
Candlelit ski trail, yeah.
Candlelit ski trail. And as I was pulled away, it made Lulu out here look like she was single.
Out there on the dance floor all by myself.
Just dancing alone. And here comes this guy who was likely the same height as you. Maybe
an inch taller.
Maybe an inch taller. How high are you? What's your height?
5'5".
5'5", so 5'6".
Yeah.
So, and then I see this guy, he's dancing. I don't think he realized that you and I were even dancing together. No, I think he just came right in and was like, hey there, pretty looking.
Okay, well, to be fair, here's another instance where my innocence takes over here because he comes over and says, how are you? My first thought, not I'm being hit on. It's, oh my God, do I know this person? Why are they asking me how I am? Do I know this person? Because I don't remember them. Immediate panic.
Yeah.
And then he asks my name, and I'm like, oh, okay. So, I don't know this person.
So, at this point, when that's happening, I'm going to talk to our friend Millie. I'll just say the name. And I'm guessing as soon as he was asking your name, that's when you're like, oh, you said your name was Lauren. But I
kind of sidled towards you then.
Yeah, then you came running by my side. You came
running is extreme. I inched over.
You made your way towards me, and he was looking at you as you were coming right behind me, and then before he knew it, he was looking at some guy who was 6'1".
Yeah,
and he was like, "Oh, hey," it was like, "Oh, sorry, buddy." I was like, yeah. And he tried to shake my hand. I was like,
no, he didn't just shake your hand. He did the whole bro hug thing.
Yeah, I was like, "You're not getting it. You're not getting it." And it was at that point we were like, okay, you know what? We've had our fun. It was time to go home. You packed up your coat. I picked up my coat. And I remember looking back at the dance floor, and he was still looking at me as we were like halfway towards the door. And I was like, wow. That is just like, that's like assuming something bad's going to happen because of a guy's physical stature. Because I was simply just like almost a half foot taller than him.
Yes.
He's like, oh, I'm not going to deal with that.
Yes, this is a highlight experience over here for this man. By this man, I mean Untamed Gaming here. This is a highlight experience. He always brings this up. Again, did he actually do anything? No. Just existed.
No, I just existed. I was like, I guess this is what it felt like, to have this much, what's the word that the kids use these days? Aura. Yet I had immense aura that moment, and he just did not want the smoke. Not that I was gonna give it to him or whatever. I was like, you know me, I'm just a big, big, tall, cuddly teddy bear.
Yeah, again, you did nothing. You just existed, and then this guy panicked. It's fine, but again, somehow it's a highlight experience.
Well, yeah, that's just one of those things. I guess when you're a guy, when you have those sorts of experiences, it'll be like. Yes, like alpha male energy is right there.
Yes.
And see that when you're with me, especially when I'm not like 5 feet away from you, you're well protected. It's like no man's gonna come and sweep you. No woman's gonna come and sweep you.
Yeah, can't discriminate here. It's not just men.
But
I have one that is probably my highlight. One that the comedic timing for is impeccable. So we were on our way to a Mexican restaurant that's one of our favorites here in town. I had been showing Untamed Gaming here videos in the car. Specifically, it was guess the movie based on the soundtrack videos. So like I had the volume way up so we could hear them and then play along with me while we were driving over. So we get to the restaurant, I turn off my phone, and we head inside. There's a wait to get in because, again, this restaurant is awesome, and there's always a wait, but it's so worth it. Anyways, I had to go to the bathroom. So I go into the bathroom, and once I get in there, I check my phone really quick. So Instagram was still on, which is where I was playing the video from, and the volume was still blasting. And somehow the video had changed from the last one I was on. And I'm telling you, this is something I couldn't plan for. The comedic timing of it is just so perfect. I couldn't have thought of it myself. Fate, though, decided that I needed this in my life. And you know what? I can't disagree. So anyways, I open my phone, then on full blast volume, you know what plays? Let's get down to business. You know, the song from Mulan. I'm telling you, I couldn't have thought of something so funny if I had tried. There was just, no. Just, it was perfection. To be fair, at the moment I was mortified, although I think there was only one other person in there, and I'm pretty sure it was a kid. And so, you know, I'm not sure if they would have necessarily understood the immense humor in it. I kind of now, in hindsight, wish that there had been at least 2 more adults in there, because I can only imagine that that would have caused some chuckles at the very least.
No, I'm like thinking, because yeah, this was at, I want to name drop the restaurant because it's so awesome, Plaza Azteca in Fargo, North Dakota, where this was taking place. And I'm just like thinking, it's like, oh, what if that were to happen like at Disneyland? Like in a stall Disneyland, where it's like everybody there who knows a thing or two about Disney movies, it probably knows a good chunk of the songs that. First
of all, they'd start singing along to it.
Now I gotta ask, did you get down to business?
Well, I was in the bathroom, so. But that's what I mean. Like, come on, could you have planned just a more appropriate song? Also, again, because it was on a video, it didn't have the wind up. No, it was straight on, right off the bat, let's get down to business. That is all there was. And then I turned off my phone in horror.
I could just picture like a bathroom montage with that song, like, let's get down to business. Like, you taking out the toilet paper, place it down on the seat, and then unbuckling the pants, dropping them down, sitting down, getting done, grabbing the roll of paper as this song's going, and then.
Yeah, no, that didn't happen because I immediately closed my phone in panic and just utter humiliation at that point. Although, again, hindsight, this is probably one of the funniest things that's ever happened to me, and I may have to intentionally do it again at some point when there's more people around, because fate didn't just give me that for nothing. No, this is something I'm going to use again in the future.
Well, there's a time and place when you look back at some of the more embarrassing things that have happened to you, and obviously when the first thing that comes to your head is like, oh my god, why did that do that? Why did that happen to me? Or what were the circumstances that led me to this? But then there's the rare feelings of like, dang it, there should have been more people for that.
Yeah, at the moment I was horrified, but hindsight, that was so funny. So that's probably one of my top hysterically funny encounters in public. Just random things that happened to me. And again, I couldn't have planned that one if I tried. It was so funny.
Well, with that being said, we're reaching the closing parts of the video. And this video has gone on a little bit longer than expected. And
what can I say? We're entertaining.
Yeah. And I feel like we can probably branch this out to its own separate channel. And with that announcement, so whatever, we'll call it Lulu Siege.
Yep. That's us.
That's us. That's Lulu.
And that's Siege.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did. Hit subscribe if you haven't, and hit the like button if you haven't done so. And I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it makes. Stay awesome. Keep it real out there.
Bye.